All right, today is supposed to be max velo velocity day, kind of getting fast, doing things fast with a lower body lift, focusing on speed and power. But again, monitoring the heel, it's feeling better. Just did a little bit of warm up, some heel, some of David Grace foot, ankle, Achilles stuff. Feeling better, but again, have baseball tonight and this weekend with playoffs, so not gonna push it, not gonna do any high velocity, high impact sprinting or jumping. So again, it's more of the impact, it's more of the deceleration that bothers that pounding when you're actually using the heel and then landing on jumps. So we're just gonna do airdyne sprints. Again, just stick with that for today. Maybe next week we'll get, we did a little sprinting earlier this week, but again, it was the high velocity where you had the super decel and those higher impacts. So again, monitoring it, saving it for the most important thing, that's baseball right now. So saving that, keep that, monitor that. So instead we're gonna do the airdyne sprints, like I said. We're just gonna go 5-second sprints, 55 seconds rest, and we'll do, I don't know, 10 or so of those. We'll see how we're feeling, and then we're gonna go, I was gonna do some sort of like obstacle course, just some cool jumping course, but instead we're just gonna do a few mini hurdles into a box jump. I'm not a huge fan of box jumps in general, just because they take a lot of the purpose out of actual jumping, and that's the landing and impact, taking on that impact. But they are good for like people who are just getting back into training and taking out the impact on the landing. So think return from injury, elderly people who haven't trained a lot, maybe they got joint issues and things like that, or people who just haven't trained in a while, haven't done anything explosive, any jumping, any high impact stuff in a while. So that's what box jumps are good for, I think. Yeah, they can be challenging and fun, but again, they take a lot of the purpose out of regular jumping, because that's the landing and the impact. But I'm going to use them to take some of the impact out of the heel striking there. Same thing with like band assisted jumps. I'm not a huge fan of those. Those are great for, but they're good for, like, again, return to play, return from injury, getting back into jumping, getting back into taking on those impact, getting those joints ready. So just two situations where I think those would be very beneficial. Again, I'm not a huge fan of them normally, just because they take out the purpose of the impact on the landing, but good for injuries and just kind of return to play, return to being athletic kind of thing. So we'll do those for our jumps, and then for our lifts we're going to go a deadlift and just focus on speed and power, rear foot elevated split squat, and some calf raises. So simple with the lifts, not throwing anything random or new that's going to make us sore for what we haven't done before. So and we're also going to do the vector lunges, the sidelines. That's going to be kind of our spinal move of the day, but also just throw in a few lunging variations there as well. So that is what we have in store for today. So we're going to head down, go do our air bike sprints. Not going to film it because I've filmed those in the last few videos and they're boring. It's just watching me on a bike. So we'll do those, come back out, do our jumps, and then get into our lifts. So that's the plan for today. So let's go be athletic for life, and hopefully get everything feeling good, get this heel. Hopefully it's better by next week. That's the plan. I keep saying that. It's gotten better. It has different days depending on where I step or whatever. I try to monitor it as much as possible, but it's just frustrating not being able to do like the sprints and jumps, because those are my favorite things to do. I haven't dunked in forever, haven't done max velocity sprints in a while, and it's just frustrating not being able to do that. But I know I got to be patient, because if I rush it too much, that's when you end up stringing it out or making injury even worse a lot of times. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's get to work. So with these, we're just working on quick ground contact, not jumping high. Again, the impact is what's bothering, so we'll see how these feel. So just quick ground contacts over the mini hurdles, and then explode up onto the bigger box. Again, it's not a super high box. I'm not going to do a super high box. I don't have a super high box, but the main goal of those is to jump higher than the box, so I'm landing when I'm coming down. Think that rainbow, so you're not just jumping up to the box and landing in that deep squat. I'm trying to land as I'm coming down. So that's the goal there. see how these feel. Not too bad. I haven't jumped in a while, so it feels good. Single leg. Okay, for the deadlifts, we're just going to work on speed, and we have the VBT on here. So we're going to go 0.7. I think, again, haven't done these in a while, so deadlift's always different than like squats or bench press, a little bit more difficult to figure out a good average VBT for me. So I think we're going to shoot for 0.7. We'll see how they're moving. We're just going to set to 3, so explode up, just work on that, and we're going to go probably 4 or 5 sets, see how we're feeling. If they're moving, maybe add another 1 or 2. But again, play by that, and then we're going to do the vector lunges with the PVC pipe and just bend as we lunge in each direction. Do a little bit of spinal movement as well. Again, because those feel fast, but they're not. They're like 0.6, so there's only 185. So we're just going to go to 225. I think we're just going to stick with this and try and move this as fast as possible. Trying to get it maybe around like a 0.6. Again, we're starting from a dead stop, so you don't have the momentum of like a squat where you drop down. That helps the PBT because you're using that momentum. You're able to pop right back up. Push a little faster where you going from a dead stop on these. The VBT is not necessarily going to be as like the trap bar works a little bit better. You can get a bit more explosive because you're at more disadvantageous position on the deadlift. Regular barbell anyway. Alright, finishing up here, roof and elevated split squats and single leg dumbbell calf raises.